All right, you beautiful conspiracy junkies. Gather around the campfire because I've got something you need to hear. Berlin, 1945. The Third Reich's crumbling like a stale pretzel. Soviet tanks are rolling in from the east. The Allies are tightening the noose from the west. And Adolf Hitler, history's most hated mustache, supposedly eats a bullet in his bunker. That's the story we've been told, right? The Führer's toast. Eva Braun knocks back a cyanide capsule. They burn the bodies. Roll credits. World War II's over, and we all sleep better at night. Well, technically the war in the Pacific was still going on, but that's not the point. What if I told you that might be the greatest con job since Houdini made an elephant disappear? What if Hitler didn't die in that bunker? What if he pulled a fast one, slipped through the cracks, and ended up sipping mate in Argentina, living out his days in a Patagonian villa with a fake beard and a new name? Yeah, I know, sounds like a B-movie plot. But I think it's very possible the devil himself pulled off the ultimate getaway. First things first, let's set the stage. Why Argentina? Why would the land of tango, beef, and Lionel Messi become a Nazi VIP lounge after the war? Well, let's rewind to the 1940s. Argentina's got a population of German descendants thicker than the crowds of the World Cup final. Hundreds of thousands of them, many who've been there since the 19th century. They've got German schools, German clubs, even German beer halls. It's like Berlin with better weather. Enter Juan Perón, the slick politician considered by some to be a dictator. Perón's a military man. He takes power in 1946, but he's been cozying up to fascists since the 30s. He did a stint as a military attaché in Mussolini's Italy, and let's just say he liked what he saw. Goose-stepping soldiers, black shirts, the whole authoritarian aesthetic. Perón's got a dream. Make Argentina a global player, maybe even a third power in the brewing Cold War. And who better to help than some of Hitler's finest? Nazi scientists, engineers, generals, they're like the ultimate free agents, and Perón's ready to sign them. Argentina stayed neutral for most of the war, only jumping in on the Allied side in 1945 when it was clear Hitler's ship was sinking. But behind the scenes, they were rolling out the red carpet for Nazis. Perón set up what we now call Ratlines, secret escape routes from Europe to South America via Spain and Italy. He got help from some shady characters in the Catholic Church. More on that later. And he's not subtle about it. Estimates say 5,000 to 10,000 Nazis and fascist collaborators ended up in South America, mostly Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay. Big names, too. Adolf Eichmann, one of the primary organizers of the Holocaust. He was eventually caught in Buenos Aires in 1960 by the Mossad, the Israeli equivalent of the CIA. Joseph Mengele, dubbed the Angel of Death, he was the physician responsible for twisted experiments on Auschwitz prisoners. He's hopping between Argentina and Paraguay till he drowns in Brazil in 1979. These aren't small fish. These are sharks. So if monsters like that can slip away, why not the big kahuna himself? Argentina's got the infrastructure, the sympathy, and the political will to harbor Nazis. Perón even said, and I quote, "We must protect these men who can help us." Protect them he did. But did that protection extend to the Führer himself? The official story is convenient but sketchy. April 30th, 1945. Berlin's a hellscape. Soviet artillery's pounding the city into rubble. The Red Army's kicking down doors, and Hitler's holed up in the Führer bunker, a concrete tomb under the Reich Chancellery. He's 56, a wreck, shaking from Parkinson's, doped up on meds, and staring down the barrel of defeat. He marries Eva Braun in a quickie ceremony. They say their goodbyes, and then Eva pops a cyanide capsule, and they're both gone. Hitler's aides, guys like Otto Gunschat and Heinz Linge, say they followed orders to burn the bodies. They drag them to the garden, douse them in gasoline, and light a match. Why? Because Hitler didn't want his corpse paraded around like Mussolini's. Il Duce got strung up like a piñata in Milan just days later. The Soviets roll in and find some charred remains, and after some back and forth, dental records match. Hitler's dentist and his assistants confirm the teeth are Adolf's. Fast forward to 2017, French forensic pathologist Philippe Charlet gets access to the jawbone in Moscow. Yep, still Hitler's. Matches his 1944 x-rays. Case closed, right? Not so fast, cowboy. There's holes in the story big enough to drive a Panzer through. The Soviets were a mess. First they've got Hitler's body, then they don't, then they bury it, dig it up, burn it again, and then scatter the ashes in the 70s. Stalin himself is spreading rumors that Hitler's alive, maybe to mess with the Allies or keep the Nazi boogeyman alive for political leverage. Then in 2009, a DNA test on a leftover skull fragment in Moscow, thought to be Hitler's, turns out to belong to a woman. Whoops. That's conspiracy fuel, baby. No body, no crime scene photos, and Stalin playing mind games. Enter the FBI stage left. Under the 1998 Nazi War Crimes Disclosure Act, the feds declassify a treasure trove of documents. Thousands of pages of reports, tips, and wild goose chases. And guess what? They're full of alleged Hitler sightings. Dozens of them, from 1945 to the 50s, all over the place. Europe, the US, and South America. June 20th, 1945. An informant tells the FBI that Hitler's in Argentina. Says he arrived by submarine off the coast. Face all messed up, maybe from surgery, maybe from a bunker blast. The guy claims he's one of 4 men who met Adolf on the beach. He says the Argentine government rolled out the welcome mat. Another report, 1955, from a former SS trooper named Philip Citrone, says he met Hitler in Tuna, Colombia, under the alias Adolf Schuttelmeyer. Citrone's got a photo. Says Hitler's living in Argentina by then. The CIA picks up the lead, but they can't verify it, so they drop the case. The FBI's got more. Informants claiming Hitler's in Brazil, Paraguay, even New York. One guy says he's running a Fourth Reich from a Patagonian hideout. One source says he's got 2 daughters with Eva Braun, living a quiet life in Bariloche, a German enclave in Argentina that looks like the Alps had a baby with an Argentinian postcard. The FBI investigates, but they keep coming up empty. Most of these tips are secondhand, hearsay, or straight-up grifters looking for a payday. But the sheer volume, that's what gets conspiracy gears turning. Grey Wolf, The Escape of Adolf Hitler by Simon Dunstan and Gerard Williams, drops in 2011 and blows the lid off the official story. They say Hitler didn't die in the bunker. Nah, he pulled a magic trick. They say he slipped out through a tunnel from the bunker to Tempelhof Airport, hopped a plane to Spain, since Francisco Franco, the dictator of Spain at the time, was a pal, then caught a U-boat to Argentina. According to Grey Wolf, Hitler lands in Argentina around mid-1945, sets up shop in Patagonia, and lives out his days with Eva Braun. They even say he's got 2 daughters. Dies in 1962 at 73, a quiet old man. Argentine journalist Abel Basti doubles down in his book, Hitler in Argentina, claiming eyewitnesses saw Adolf in Bariloche, says he's got photos showing Hitler with a new beard, sipping coffee like he's on vacation. Historians hate this stuff. Richard J. Evans, a big shot World War II expert, calls it pure fantasy. No hard evidence, no DNA, no documents, just a lot of he said, she said. The photos? Could be anyone. The eyewitnesses? Old folks with fuzzy memories. But the story's got legs because it's built on a kernel of truth. Nazis did escape to Argentina. So let's talk about how they pulled it off. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. And so have you, apparently. Let's talk Ratlines, the Underground Railroad for Nazis. After the war, Europe's a mess, and thousands of Nazis are on the run. War criminals, SS officers, the worst of the worst. They can't stay in Germany. The Allies are hunting them down for the Nuremberg trials. So they turn to some unlikely saviors. The Catholic Church. Guys like Bishop Alois Hudal and Croatian priest Krunoslav Draganovic set up escape routes from Germany to Italy, then Spain, then South America. Real saints, huh? Hudal's based in Rome, running a network through the Vatican, giving Nazis fake passports and a one-way ticket to freedom. Draganovic has got his own operation, smuggling fascists and Nazis alike. They call it the monastery route, hiding fugitives in churches, dressing them up as priests, the whole 9 yards. Argentina's in on it too. Perón's got Cardinal Antonio Caggiano playing middleman, welcoming Nazis with open arms. Declassified US intel says the War Department thought Hitler might hide at the Eden Hotel in La Falda, Argentina, owned by Nazi sympathizers who were tight with Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's minister of propaganda. Perón's not just turning a blind eye, he's rolling out the welcome mat. Why? Because he wants their expertise. Scientists, engineers, military minds. It's like the US with Operation Paperclip, snatching up guys like Werner von Braun for the space race. Eichmann, Mengele, Klaus Barbie, these guys all use Ratlines to get to South America. Eichmann lived in Buenos Aires for a decade before the Mossad nabbed him. Mengele died a free man. If they could escape, why not Hitler? The network was there, the will was there, and Argentina was ready to play ball. Fast forward to 2025. Just last month, March 2025, Argentine President Javier Milei, libertarian firebrand, chainsaw-wielding budget cutter, drops a bombshell. He announces they're declassifying all government files on Nazi fugitives in Argentina, thanks to a nudge from US Senator Chuck Grassley. We're talking bank accounts, Ratline records, the whole enchilada. These docs aren't out yet, but they're expected to show how deep Argentina's government was in bed with the Nazis, how Perón's cronies protected guys like Eichmann and Mengele, maybe even funneling money to assist their escape. Will they prove Hitler retired to Patagonia? Probably not. Declassified documents rarely live up to the expectations, but they may shine light on the Ratlines, the networks, the dirty deals. Milei's move is a big deal. Argentina's finally coming clean, or at least pretending to. But it's also a reminder, the truth about Nazis in South America is messy, ugly, and way too real. Alright, let's pump the brakes. Is the Hitler escape theory legit, or are we just chasing ghosts? The official story, dental records, eyewitnesses in the bunker, the whole Soviet investigation. Hitler was a mess by 1945. He wasn't exactly James Bond. A guy that famous, that hated, living incognito in Argentina? It would be one hell of an escape. Historians like Richard J. Evans, who've studied Nazis in Argentina, say it's bunk. Evans called Grey Wolf a fairy tale, and that the FBI files are just rumors, not proof. But let's play devil's advocate. The Soviets botched the forensics, burning, burying, digging up, burning again. Stalin's disinformation kept the rumors alive. And those FBI files? They show the US took the idea seriously enough to investigate. Plus the Ratlines were real. Thousands of Nazis did escape. Eichmann, Mengele, Barbie, they all made it out. So could Hitler have slipped through the cracks? Maybe. Probably. Here's what we know for sure. Argentina was a Nazi safe haven. Perón wanted them. The church helped out. And the Allies sometimes looked the other way. That's the real scandal. Not whether Hitler pulled a Houdini, but how many monsters lived free while the world moved on. Did Hitler escape to Argentina, grow a beard, and die an old man in the Andes? Or did he eat a bullet in Berlin, leaving nothing but ashes and a legacy of hate? The gaps in the story, the Ratlines, the FBI files, they keep the question alive. What's not up for debate is this. Thousands of Nazis did escape to Argentina, and they lived better than they deserved. Perón gave them a new life, the church gave them a free pass, and the world let it happen. That's the real conspiracy. Not whether Hitler made it out, but how we let so many others walk free. So next time you're sipping mate or hiking in Patagonia, keep your eyes peeled. You never know who might have been your neighbor. Sleep tight, degenerates.